Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Yaje here, excited to share another gardening video because I've put together yet another resource for anyone who wants to grow tons of peppers in their backyard. When it comes to pepper farming or pepper gardening, I consider myself an expert because I always get tons of yields year after year after year every time I grow peppers, no matter the type of peppers. I have grown them all from the super hots to the mild ones. They always produce for me in this backyard, and I always get amazing results, tons of yields. So, yes, I consider myself an expert, and I have put together everything I know in one video so you don't need to jump around about growing peppers successfully from seed starting. Even when you don't have a heat mat, even when you don't have grow lights, you can still start seeds. So I share with you how to start seeds without any of those resources, super easy. And then I share with you how to transplant the peppers in ground and in containers, because there's a way to do this so that you get sustained yield. There's a way to set up your soil. I share all of that in the transplanting video. Then I share with you how to harvest the peppers when they start producing tons of fruit for you. I share with you all the fertilizers that you're going to need to ensure that you get huge yields. And then I also share how to preserve the peppers in the freezer for long-term use, because see, when you grow these peppers, you're going to get so many pepper fruits that you will want to save them for use later on. I still have some in my freezer from 2020, like 5-year-old peppers, and they're still in good condition. So I share with you what you need to do to preserve your peppers long term, and also a recipe for making chili oil. This is like a shelf stable way of preserving your peppers, and also a way of, processing your peppers to give them out as gifts. So if you would like to see all of these tips from my years and years of growing peppers, so you can finally be able to grow peppers in your own backyard, then stay tuned. Now let's get started. So before we get started, as always, I have a few asks of you. First of all, that you give this video a thumbs up and that you share the link on your social media handles. Share the link with a friend. Just share the link somewhere in your WhatsApp groups. It helps me so much to grow the channel. I do sincerely appreciate you. And if you would like to join the YAJE'S garden family, where we learn how to cultivate our green thumbs and we learn how to grow a garden, because when we grow a garden, we grow health, then go ahead and click on that subscribe button to join the family. Thank you so much. Of course, you need the seeds. I bought the seeds from pepperjoes.com online. You're also going to need a seed starting mix. You can get one from Walmart or any home garden supply store. Then I use plastic cups, Dixie cups. I use the red one and the transparent one. You also need something to label with. You can label directly on the cup, but I use these freezer tapes. Step number 1 is to pre-moisten that seed starting mix. I'm using plastic cups to germinate my peppers in for several reasons. One, it's easy to label them, okay? It's easy for me to put a label on the cups. Two, they are big enough to hold the seedlings for a little while. So if I use the little mini seed starting things, then you have to up pot or transplant quickly. But this is big enough. This cup is big enough to have the peppers be in there for a little while. All right. So we go ahead and cut holes at the bottom. They say if it does not drain, it does not grow. So I'm just going to make a big hole using this sharp tool that I bought from Walmart as well. It is quite sharp, guys, so you have to be extremely careful with that tool. Now we're going to plant the seeds. You can put up to 5. I've seen people put 5 in a cup, but I only had 11 seeds. So I decided to put 2 per cup, and therefore there was an extra one with 3 cups. So because this is a tiny seed, we don't want to plant it too deep. So I start by just putting 1 seed like on top, right? We'll put the seeds first just to, space them well. And then we are going to bury them a little later. Just keep watching. Next step is to press the peppers down to the earth or to the soil. And I'm using the bottom of my marker there to just push it down about half an inch. Again, it's a tiny seed. You don't want to bury it too deep, otherwise it would never come up, okay? So I just use the bottom of my marker there. You can use anything. You can use your fingers if you want to press it down. At this point, we are almost done. Now we just need to water the seeds. Basically, just mist it. Just moisten it lightly, nothing too heavy, otherwise the seeds might rot. And then I went ahead and labeled using that freezer tape and a marker with the name of the peppers and the date of planting. And then now I put the plastic cups on top for a greenhouse effect. You want to use clear, something that is clear like this plastic, or maybe a Ziploc bag or something along those lines. It provides that humidity for fast germination. Now I'm just going to move the pepper seeds to my outdoor greenhouse and let it germinate. I'm in zone 9A and it's already hot here. I didn't need to take these indoors, but if you are where it's still cold, you might want to take your seeds inside and place it on a heating pad or something like that. It needs a little bit of warmth to germinate. Yeah, about 7 days later, the Carolina Reapers sprouted, and I had about a 90% germination rate, which I am pretty proud about that. So yeah, if you follow these steps, you might be able to germinate your own peppers as well. After about 7 days, the peppers germinated, and as soon as you notice that the peppers have germinated, you have to remove this top cup and then just leave it alone. So yeah. These are the peppers I'm going to transplant. So it's been about 4 weeks. When to transplant peppers? About 4 weeks after they sprout. And you can also observe their true leaves. If they've produced their 3rd set, then they're ready to be transplanted. Another way is to look at the root system. You want a good network of roots. And then if the roots have started to reach the bottom of the container, it's time to move it into a bigger container. But in my case, I'm just going to move it into their final place, into the grow bags. So when I say true leaves, this is the leaves that form after the first set. Those are like the leaves that actually photosynthesize. You can see I have 3 sets here. I will be transplanting my peppers in these containers. They are known as grow bags. I will link up to them in the description box, but they're available on Amazon. I got all 12 for like maybe $22, something like that. So they are, I think, very affordable. The size I got here is 7-gallon sizes. I have filled up the bottom already with regular soil from the garden. And then now I'm going to add magnesium via Epsom salt. Ever since I heard about using Epsom salt for growing peppers, I have always used them. It supplies magnesium, which allows plants to better take in nitrogen and phosphorus, which helps in photosynthesis, the creation of chlorophyll, which is the main molecule responsible for photosynthesis. It also helps your plants produce flowers and fruits. And when it comes to peppers, you want flowers and fruits. So I chose to use Epsom salt. And I will mix it in. Just mixing it in before I add potting mix
When
soil.
growing plants in containers, you always want to use soil that is appropriate for container gardening. And in my case, it is potting mix soil. I chose to use Miracle Grow. You can use whatever brand, or you can make your own. Sometimes I make my own, but Miracle Grow was on sale. Potting mix was on sale for $10 in the huge bag, and so I bought some. And as far as growing peppers in containers, you want a size that is at least 5 gallons. For big plants like peppers, 5 gallons and above is good. And I'm using 7 gallons here. Okay, I have filled up 10 of the glue bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to water it now and then plant the peppers. I'm gonna make a hole right here in the middle. Today we are going to transplant, that's how we called it in Cameroon, but we're gonna grow these habanero peppers, which just means move them from these containers to the ground, to my raised beds. That's what we're gonna be doing in today's video. I think over here is where I'm going to put my peppers, in this long bed along the fence. I already have bitter leaves there, but I think I can fit a couple of, some of those peppers here. And I managed to overbuy. My goal this year was just to grow 5 peppers, but I ended up with 10. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Probably put some in containers. But yeah, this is where the peppers are gonna go, right here. So first, let's water the soil. Let's water the soil. It's quite dry. Ooh, it's really dry. Let's water the soil and then make some holes. I have manure, the chicken compost that I got from the store the other day, which I'm going to use to just add nutrients to the soil, because I don't trust the soil that I have. It's new soil, and I had a contractor do it for me, so I'm not sure what quality that soil has. So I'm going to amend that soil with a lot of manure. I'm also going to add something. Let me show you. I'm also going to be adding Epsom salt. This really helps add magnesium to the soil. So if you have plants that have been yellowing, probably they're deficient in magnesium, and this helps. This one is Epsom salt plus. I'm going to share links in the description box. If you're interested in getting this for your garden, you can. But I will add a couple of tablespoons to the hole that I will dig to plant the peppers in. So let's get to work. Gloves for this one, because I'm gonna be messing with compost, with chicken manure. Okay, so we want to make a hole. As you can see, the soil is not the best. You can use other tools to make a hole. Now I'm going to add that chicken compost. Maybe 3 scoops. And then I'm gonna mix it up with the soil. Two tablespoons of my Epsom salt.
that it? Now we're ready to transplant. I'll show you. So this is the plant. I'm gonna take my hands, open like this, put it here, okay, grab the pot, flip it upside down, loosen it up a little. Now I'm gonna pull it out just like so. It's time to put it in the hole. Wish me luck. All right, we want to take this, put it somewhere so we remember what is it. There you go. And then I like to cage my peppers. I'll show you how I cage my peppers. You're gonna need some tools for this job. This is a pair of garden shears and you want to make sure it's clean. If you don't have the garden shears, you can always use kitchen scissors. But what we need is something that is sharp and clean. Okay, so these are my ghost peppers. They are pretty young, and what I'm going to do is cut it up like right from here. Let me show you. Grab this. So what are the reasons for pruning pepper plants? The reasons why a gardener should be pruning peppers depends on when the pruning takes place. If you time it correctly, proper pruning encourages strong, sturdy stems, good branching, reduced disease and pest pressure, fruits that ripen quickly and evenly, and for many pepper varieties, it results in an improved yield. This one has a bunch of, I don't know, it's just crowded. So what I want to do is just trim off some of these extra ones. Improve air circulation. It's all over the place. Side shoots. Okay. I feel terrible doing this, but I'm just pinching off the first fruits. Maybe I should wait for it to fly. I hate doing this. You also want to prune off the lowest leaves to limit pests. Okay, so when you do that, it keeps the pests away from ground dwelling pests like slugs and snails, which I already have issues with that in the garden. I have issues with slugs and snails, so I need to remove those leaves that are very close to the ground. If this video is adding any value to you, please give this video a thumbs up, please. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, it will mean so much to me if you clicked on that red subscribe button, and also ring the bell to join the tribe. That way, when I share weekly videos, you don't miss out on anything. With
Morning, beautiful people. I'm in the garden today and I just wanted to show you an update of the peppers that I pruned about 3 weeks ago. I wanted to show you the differences between the pruned or topped peppers and the ones that I did not prune or top. That way you can judge for yourself whether you should prune yours or not. I carried out this experiment, well, maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I decided not to prune all of the peppers just so that I can compare and contrast and decide what to do next planting season. And you know that I do the experiments so that I can share the lessons learned with you so you don't repeat the same mistakes. All right? Okay. So here is my ghost pepper. This one I did not prune. Let's see how it looks like. Note that it is taller and it has begun to even produce like flowers right there. Okay, so this one was not pruned. And then let's move over here. Same age, and this one right here was pruned. See, it has more branches, 2, 3, 4, 5, even 5 branches. It is not as tall. See, it's not as tall as that one over here. This one is unpruned, it's tall. This one was pruned, it's shorter but broader, has a more rounded shape. Even though it has not yet started to flower, it has many more branches and I think a lot more potential to produce flowers and peppers. So this is pruned, this was pruned, these were all pruned. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, they are shorter and more rounded. And then this one is taller, doesn't really have much of a shape, and it has begun to produce fruit. So yeah, I wanted to share with you that update. That way you can decide for yourself whether you need to prune or not. I definitely like the way the ones that I pruned are looking. I prefer the way that they are looking, and I believe they will produce more fruit. So when they start to produce pepper fruits, I'll be sure to keep you all updated. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to stay connected and to stay in the know. Thank you all. Hello everybody. I'm going to be harvesting my habanero peppers today. I have a lot more ripe peppers. Let me show you. Look at all of this. And then see the ones I planted in the containers. They are all turning bright orange. I like to leave my peppers to ripen on the vine because I like the heat. You harvest them green, they will not be that hot. I like the intense heat and the flavor, so I leave the peppers to get really ripe on the vine. And so I'm going to harvest them today, and I wanted to share with you the best way to harvest your habanero peppers. You need a sharp object. Remember, I'm sharing the best way. You can of course just pluck this with your hands, but by doing that you can tug on the peppers and destroy your plants. Okay, so we want to harvest the best way. Your shears, and then we're gonna cut. Let's see, we're going to cut about midway from the stem with my shears, like that, just like that. Okay, let's cut this one right here, like that. That's the best way. You can plug them again with your hands, but you risk destroying the purpose. So habanero peppers take about 100 days from transplant to ripe. I planted these around mid-March, and today is June the 12th, and I'm in zone 9, as you know. Let me harvest this one. That's a ghost pepper. They're still blooming, producing flowers or blossoms. I've been harvesting a lot of ghost peppers. So these are all ghost peppers in containers. They're here where it's not as hot and I don't get as much sunlight, and they're doing very well. So here are the products that I've been using on my peppers. This one right here, it's an organic fertilizer. This is how it looks like on the inside. It's granular. So I've been using this to side dress the peppers. Then to encourage my peppers to produce fruit, I use Neptune's Harvest. It is a high phosphorus fertilizer, 2:4:2 is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium ratio. It is organic. This can here is a 2-gallon watering can, so I'm going to estimate about a 1/4 cup. Always shake well. 1/4 cup. And then apply it around the peppers that are still trying to produce. Is to spray my peppers with my Epsom salt. It says dissolve 1 tablespoon per gallon of water and use as a foliar spray monthly, or sprinkle 1 teaspoon per foot height at the base of the plant every 2 weeks during the growing season. I just prefer to spray. So I'm just gonna go around the garden now, you know, after feeding, watering, and then spray the leaves. Foliar spray. Here are my peppers. I'm just gonna transfer them into the bowl and then pour the hot water, the boiling water. The reason why we're using boiling water is to kill any bacteria, any fungi, stuff like that. So your peppers will last longer in the freezer, give them a longer shelf life that way. So we just want the peppers to sit in here for about a minute or so. If you notice, I did not cut off the stems before putting them in hot water, because once you cut the stems off, it's gonna, I guess, have the peppers release some of their active capsaicin and you might start coughing quite a bit. So leave the stems there. So this is just for about a minute. We're going to take it out and transfer it into our bowl of ice water. And the reason why we're putting in cold water is to stop any cooking process that might have been happening. That's essentially what blanching is. Hot and then cold immediately. So the ice water stops the cooking process. Next, I'm going to cut off all of these stems and then put them in Ziploc bags. The reason why you want to remove the stalks before freezing is just so that whenever you're ready to cook your peppers, you don't have to deal with that again. We're going to start by washing our peppers. So after washing our peppers, we are going to remove pluck out the stems because we don't want the stems to burn while cooking and the stems are not edible. So go ahead and remove these stems. Now that our peppers are all clean and destemmed, it is time to proceed. We are going to use that toothpick and make holes in the fruits. So if you're thinking, why not just cut open the peppers? If we do that, then we're going to expose the seeds, and the seeds can burn in the extraction process. So we don't want to do that. Now it's time to begin the extraction process proper. Here I'm using a large pot, and the reason why I'm using such a big pot is so that if I'm going to, anything splatters, you know, the walls of the pot will catch it, okay? So into that pot, I just added 1 liter of water, and then I'm going to add an equal amount of oil. Adding a teaspoon of salt, okay? And then now I'm going to put the peppers in there. If you're going to do this indoors in the kitchen, make sure you have a vent hood that actually works because everybody will be coughing. And best do this on a day that you don't have people at home. I'm going to leave the peppers on high heat until it comes to a boil. Then I'll turn it down to medium heat. Okay, here we are. It is starting to come to a boil. We are about 5 minutes in. How long it takes is just going to depend on your stove, the type of heating element that you're using. I'm going to go ahead and note the time. It's about 12:47 at this point, and the reason why I'm noting the time is so that I can check on it after about every 10 minutes or so, just to make sure everything is going all right. So I turn the heat down when it starts to boil, and here we are at 10 minutes. You can notice it is boiling very rapidly. It is cloudy and the peppers are still very plump. So the active ingredient, the spicy stuff, that capsaicin, is being extracted at this point from the peppers into the water, and then eventually, as we continue to boil off the water, that active ingredient stays in the oil, which is what we're trying to do. That's the extraction process. If you're thinking, why not just extract the capsaicin, which is the active ingredient, that spicy stuff, that hot stuff, directly into the oil? Why use water? It is because if we do not use water, the temperature is going to get too high, too hot, and it will burn the peppers instead. So when we use water, it keeps the temperature at around the boiling point of water, which is around 100 degrees, until the water has all evaporated. All right, so we are about 1 hour into the process. Remember, I started with 1 liter of water, okay? So it takes that long to evaporate the water. As you can see, the boiling is not that rapid any longer. It is not that cloudy anymore. So see how transparent it looks? That's how we know we have evaporated most or almost all of the water. And the pepper fruits themselves are getting like transparent because we've removed a lot of the meaty stuff from there. I don't know how to say it. Now we are going to fish out the pepper fruits, and then we are left with our beautiful spicy chili oil. Our chili oil has cooled down. So what I will do now at this point is strain the oil. just to get rid of any particles. I'm going to be straining my oil through this sieve right here. The finer the mesh, the better, but this will have to do for now. So here's what we have. If the extraction and evaporation process went well, we should have about 1 liter of our chili oil, which is right about 1 liter. That's how much oil I started with. So that is your chili oil. What I have to do now is put these in bottles.
And that's it, family. I hope this video added tons and tons of value to you. I had so much fun putting it together. I was thinking of that person who wants to grow peppers but doesn't know how to go about it. That person who wants to save some money because these things are very expensive. It's like what, $6.99, $7.99 a pound? And with a few pepper plants in your garden, you can get enough fruit to last you a year. So whether you are in an apartment somewhere or you have a tiny space in your backyard, I promise you, you can grow peppers. Just try it and you will come back and thank me later. I appreciate you all again. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button, I hope you do that. And I hope I have earned your subscription. Share this video with a friend and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's grow this community together. Thank you so much. And again, remember to grow a garden because when you grow a garden, you grow health. Bye, everyone. Take care.